Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bleav in Arizona Football Podcast here on Bleav Podcast Network. This is the place to come and talk all things Arizona Wildcats football. My name is Eddie Law. My co-host, as always, is former Arizona Wildcats corner, number 5 in your programs. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Shaquille Richardson. How you doing, man?
Yo, what's good? What's good? Doing good. How everybody doing?
Oh man, everyone's look. Let's just keep on hoping that everyone's good. Everyone keeps it great because we're about to get to get to play some actual football here. So let's all keep it positive and going good. All right, folks, if you enjoyed this show, please help us out by hitting that subscribe button on iTunes. Leave us a rating; you'd be so kind. We're also available on every podcast outlet your favorite one. Pick one: iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher,
YouTube,
Luminary, TuneIn, YouTube. We're everywhere. Like, you can't get rid of us. Like, you literally just have to open your eyes, you'll find us. All right. You can also find us at Bleav.com, of course, and at Bleav Podcast on social media. So we're in the middle of week 2, NFL regular season. Obviously, tomorrow we had a game on Thursday. And then we have big games tomorrow, and then, of course, Monday night game. And, of course, the NBA playoffs are still going on with both conference finals in full swing. Lakers taking on the Denver Nuggets. Yep. And then Miami Heat taking on Boston Celtics, who came back last night to push it to a 6 game. We'll see what happens with that. So I was not much of an online betting man. Normally, I leave that stuff for the occasional Vegas trip. But bet online, with betonline.ag, I've been actually placing bets mostly on MMA fights because that's my little thing with that with the UFC. But man, I saw how mad LeBron got when he only got 15 or 16 first place votes for the MVP. I'm thinking about putting some money on LA, dude. That and AD's balling.
We're automatically gonna win. If you would have did that, we was gonna win. If you would have did that at the beginning of the season, your money would still be working right now. So I'm good with the Lakers.
I've never seen LeBron get mad about an MVP the way he got mad. Like that interview, he was just like, I got how many? 16?
Wow.
Okay. All right.
That's disrespectful to the king.
And then the MVP's out of the playoffs already.
Right.
Giannis is out. So
10 assists. Anyway.
You got it's always controversial with the MVP. Almost always. It's rarely a clear cut.
Like back-to-back Steve Nash.
Yeah, although I'm a Suns fan, so I'm not complaining.
I know you're
but
from Phoenix.
Shaq should have probably got one of those anyway.
Right.
But anyway, so take advantage of sports being back on. Get in on the action with hundreds of odds, futures, and props for you to bet on. And there's always the online casino as well. It never closes. Now, of course, UFC 253 going on tonight. Adesanya vs. Costa. Put your bets in on that as well. So head over to betonline.ag today. Sign up to receive your welcome bonus on your first deposit. Again, that's betonline.ag. Sign up today. Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts.
Yeah.
Folks, we have Pac-12 football back this last Thursday, September 24th. The Pac-12 CEOs, they all got together. They had a meeting, Zoom meeting, started at 3 p.m., ended at 5, and they decided we're going to get to play, dude. Yeah, we get to play 7 games.
I don't think there was going to be any issue with getting the season going. You see all the other leagues going and all the other, conferences going. There's no reason why Pac shouldn't be playing right now. So there wasn't going to be no hiccups in getting everything rolling.
No, everybody wanted to play, which is whether or not we could do it safely. And luckily, it looks like we'll be able to. So It's going to be a 7-game season starting the weekend of November 6th. Of course, if nothing changes from now until then. And this includes basketball and winter sports. So fall sports, apparently. So a lot of the fall sports are going to stay, postponed for the most part. But football, basketball are full go. And reading up on the basketball side of it, they're actually they're going to have a little more of a mess than football is. So,
a mess.
What's up?
You said a little bit more of a mess?
Yeah, a little bit more. They're even trying to figure out, who they're going to play and all that. So, I guess football's like that way.
NCAA basketball is trying to bring back like the March Madness season.
I think that's what they're gonna do. I mean, there's too much money in March Madness to skip it.
What month is it? Yeah. March Madness is long gone.
Yeah, no, I don't know how they're gonna make it happen, but them I don't know. They'll find a way. Maybe not like for this last year's, save this last year's March Madness, but
next year.
Maybe, get working into next year.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a complete 180 from the August 11th decision to postpone all fall sports until at least I think it was January 1st, 2021. Now, keep in mind, back in August, there was very little information on COVID-19, and the testing was way harder to come by. So this partnership, I know we're talking about the Quidel Corporation partnership. It's going to be quick result test, 15-minute test, something like that, and it's a huge step towards returning to play, man.
Right. I remember when you told me about that. Once I found out that was in the works, I already knew that the season was going to be going sometime soon. As soon as they cleared the testing, it's really about just tracking and making sure everybody is quarantining good enough to where they're not spreading it to the rest of the team. And, the mask and everything. I feel like if other conferences are playing games, then the Pac-12, there's no excuse for the Pac-12 not to be able to play the same games.
Right. And
But that also
Pac-12,
that's like a testament to just West Coast football and the disrespect. I think this adds to the fuel to the fire for West Coast football politics, man. I trained in Orlando, and I'm telling you, I was like one of the only guys from the West Coast, and they let me have it. West Coast football, Florida, 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 Texas, Texas, Texas. I'm like, yo, relax. But Pac-12 being, so far behind, gives them more ammo. That's why I don't even think that we'll be able to get into the playoff, the college football playoff, with 7-game season. I don't remember being in there last year with a full season, and with us having less games, I feel like if we took it as serious as other conferences, then we would have been playing.
how many pro football teams they got? The Dallas Cowboys pro, right? College, they don't, as big of a state as it is, they don't have a lot of big time college
Texas,
teams. High school football is the life over there.
Well, yeah, high school football. See, it's like with us, we have high school football talent, players, recruits, 5 stars, but then they go to Big Ten, they go to SEC, they go to Pac-12 as well. But the bigger dudes, we got a lot of talent in California. High school football is very talented. But it's just we haven't been competing as well as we should nationally on the college level.
It's hard for some of these guys to some of these coaches to keep the talent home.
Right.
USC did it for a minute, but
well, yeah, USC.
Yeah,
you just got to recruit. You got to play real football. You got to give the kids opportunities to succeed in their vision. If they want to get to the league, they want to do this. So allow them or help them achieve their goals. And also while you're getting to the league, you just pass your classes.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so they were saying November 6th is the date to come back. And it said the quote from the from the president or from the press release was for those teams that have the necessary state and local health approvals. That's according to the press release. So, the vote was unanimous among Pac-12 presidents and chancellors. The CEO group has approved the 7-game schedule, and that ends December 18th with the conference title game. So we're going to get a conference title game. So at least we'll have a Pac-12 champion.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. It's going to be, it's going to be a watered down season. I think the most important thing about this is letting the kids play. Just being happy that the kids get to play this year. They get to have film from this season. You see all the kids transferring because they didn't think they had an opportunity to play. That's very important. Some of these guys that's on their last year and might not get a year back, and they're not getting no younger or injuries, whatever the case may be. I'm happy that the kids get to play. All Pac-12 get to play football safely, and get the opportunity to go make plays, score touchdowns, and hopefully get to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, tape, right? To get the tape, even for the juniors and the sophomores that are going on to their senior year, tape's important. But for the guys that are trying to get, like the guys that are going to be drafted that know they're going to be drafted, they're fine. They can go off and go prepare and everything. We're talking the guys that are going to be within rounds 5, 6, and 7.
Right.
That might not.
5, 6, 7, you could do from 2 to 7. Really, after the first round, 2 to 7 is like, you could find somebody. If you're scouting and you're doing your homework, you could find, first, second round talent in the Pac-12. It's just going to be if you don't have any film for these guys for this year, you're going to go with you're going to either go with somebody else or you're going to want to see more film of these guys before you draft them for sure. So I think these guys that might have been like in the 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds, Pac-12, 6 rounds, they now have opportunity to make the most of this year, get first, second round, and just retain some respect as far as their new film is concerned.
Right. True. All right. So the details that were released on this season, each school is going to play their 5 division opponents. Everyone's going to play each other. And they're going to have 2 cross division opponents with every game counting in the standings. So, and then every school is going to play the weekend of the Pac-12 title game. And we're expecting a schedule here in the next few days, hopefully sooner than that if possible. But yeah, they're working on that now. Now, no fans are going to be allowed at the games as of now. But the Pac-12 did say they'll revisit that after January 1st. As a player, being on the field, how important are the fans to
you? What's funny? It's like this is like a trick question because the fans are very important. Yeah. But as far as me as a player, I could imagine that there's 100,000 fans in the stadium without there being any fans.
There you go.
Like pregame, just being on the field, you feel like you're in an arena already, like a battle arena. So you got the vibes when you touch the grass. So the vibes are still there. It's just the momentum and the reconfirmation of what's going on by the fans, the excitement, and the quiet that you put on the crowd. All that stuff is gonna be missing. But it's just like practice. You go there, you have no business. Another team is coming. You've had scrimmages before. It's like a real scrimmage, real film, new team. I mean, some people may do better with no fans, like quarterbacks, maybe offensive making checks, defensive communications and stuff like that. It's going to be positive and benefits. I think they have to just live in a moment and knowing that people are watching and knowing that it's important. Even though there's no fans, it's very important.
Right.
So I think they'll be able to adjust to no fans, better communication, still good football. I just literally imagine in my head that I'm pumping up the crowd.
There you go.
Turning nobody up.
You're playing college football, man. Just live it up.
Yeah, for real. Live it up.
Although the NFL is pumping, I don't know if you've noticed that they're pumping like crowd noise in their stadiums.
Too much, I think.
And it's so weird, dude, because it's like
too much.
They do that, and I'm like, I know there's nobody in there, dude. What are you trying to sell me?
Right. They're trying to make it seem like it's all, spot on, but
nah, we know better.
Right. And it's like they probably been doing this, honestly.
Oh, for sure. Dude, the Colts got caught. The Colts got caught years ago doing
Exactly. They probably keep it to a certain level, that's not, breaking the threshold and pumping the crowd in there. They've been more hyped than regular games.
Oh yeah.
The fake crowd. I think they put all playoff games for the crowd noise. It had to be a playoff game if they use that recording.
Dude, I forgot who was getting blown out the other day, and it was at their home field. And it was just like, you could hear the crowd going. And I was like, come on, man. Like, people be walking out the stadium right now.
Right. I want to hear them boos.
Yeah, I want to hear the boos. Exactly. I want to hear the boos. Let's keep it genuine, New York.
All right. Let's keep it thorough.
Right. All right. So now we talked about this already, but there's a good chance a 7-0 Pac-12 champ will not be included in playoff scenarios, even though, the reason I mentioned that is because the Pac-12 commissioner, Larry Scott, he seems optimistic, way more optimistic than most, that we could be included due to the current situation with COVID. He actually thinks the committee is going to be more subjective in this situation than ever again. But I mean, we still have ACC, SEC, all these other conferences that are already playing. It's going to be hard to turning those guys down.
Is it 14 playoff or?
It should be 14, right?
Yeah, 14. Yeah. I don't see it happening. I mean, of course, if you had a school talented enough in the preseason rankings and stuff like that, maybe if they were preseason ranked, or I think we just missed the boat when it came to starting on time. Whoever started first, it was 3 conferences that started on time, right? And then the Big 12 was playing, they jumped on. Now we're last, right?
We're last.
Fitting that we're last on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to be accounted for in the rankings.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to go higher than if we're 1-0. I think they're gonna go to somebody that's 2-0.
Right.
If somebody lost to LSU and they got 6 wins, 6-1 LSU, and we 7-0, they're gonna put them back in the playoffs. It's like we're gonna be there, but we're not gonna be as respected as I think the commissioner would like. I mean, of course, you want to have respect for your teams nationwide. So I unfortunately don't think we'll have a Pac-12 school in the conference playoffs.
No, it'll be the usual load of SEC teams in there, and then maybe one outsider.
Yeah, Ohio State or somebody.
Something. All right. So, and then, there's one thing I heard about the possibility of game times. I forgot where I read it. I read an article about it, and there was discussion about having early games. Now, you're talking about West Coast football. The first thing I thought about was that a lot of the media outlets, the bigger media outlets, are in the East Coast. They don't get to watch us.
Exactly.
Nobody
That's
on the
another
East
reason.
Coast.
That adds to our, if we start a game at 7:30, it's 10:30 out there. The game is not over till 1 a.m. They're not watching me score.
They're not staying up.
They got to watch the highlights. If you don't make the highlights, then you're not really balling.
Yeah.
Because they're not watching.
Seems like you have, in the West Coast, you have to make a lot of noise. To make those East Coast writers and media guys pay attention.
Right. And our prime time is 12:30. Our prime time, West Coast prime time is 12:30. I remember playing Oregon at 12:30. And I made the biggest play. I think that's another reason why it went nationwide.
Right.
Because if it would have been at 7:30, they're at the bar, they're at the club, they're asleep, they're with the family, whatever they're doing. They're not, focusing on, West Coast football as much as SEC when it's right in the prime time of the day.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right about that play. That was in the middle of the day, and it was hot outside, but it was
hot. Right.
Yeah.
That was our biggest game. One of our biggest games.
Yeah. Luckily, you played in Tucson, so you're not. You used to heat.
I don't think if that would have happened at 7:30, I'm not sure as many people would have seen it.
Right.
Being on the West Coast. Imagine if I did that at a big Power 5, or Ohio State, or Alabama or LSU or somewhere like that, it would have went off. But
yeah, it would have been Sports Center top 10.
Right. I think it was still top 10, but anyway.
Yeah.
I think we gotta, as a league, we gotta take football more serious. I feel like when recruiting stages, we've been recruiting kids. I don't know how we recruit kids, but they have to know that football is important at the school. We want you to be a successful football player as well. I know it's student athlete, but like the kids that actually have like potential and futures, and they want to be coached by the best. They want to be helped along the path. They want to be guided on a path that's going to be successful to their dreams, which is playing in the NFL. If you're not, getting kids to the NFL, it's going to be hard to get a 4 or 5 star recruit.
I know this is kind of a side, but just really quick, I've always wondered why there wasn't, for example, like a bachelor's in football. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Or a bachelor's in basketball.
Because it's a fraternity. It's a fraternity.
Yeah.
It's about who you know, not what you know. If you know the right people, you can just get under somebody and then they'll teach you everything.
Right.
But if you might know something in football, but might not know the hire, the person to get the hire. You might not have met the right coaches or gotten to the right situation. It's a lot of things that go on in the football league. It's a big fraternity. The NFL, that shield, they protect it.
They all know each other, man. That's why that's why they're always saying what's up after the game and all that. So.
Yeah, I play with your dad.
Exactly.
Your uncle was a
yeah, exactly.
All
right. So on a good note for Arizona football, anyway, the NCAA is waiving bowl eligibility requirements for just this season for 2020. So we could have we can go, I think, 1-6 and still possibly go bowling. It's not guaranteed. But we could.
Yeah, we could not go 1-6. Let's start there.
No.
We better not go 1-6.
We better not. No, I don't want to see that.
Ain't nobody even got no time to practice. So the field should be even for us. Yeah. I know we lost a bunch of players on defense, but hey, I'm not. Let's go out and compete. We could steal some wins, get some wins. We can steal some wins from somewhere. How many wins we have last year?
3, 4. God, I can't remember. It was such a bad season. You want to just forget it. I tried to just forget it because it's just like, oh man.
All right, we gotta get at least 4 wins again.
Something. Jesus.
And these 7 games.
Yeah, 7 games. We go 4-7 because just the fact of the situation and all that. I'm like, all right, I get it.
All right, over 500. I want to see over 500.
Over 500 would be dope.
Yeah, and I want to see the quarterback throw some touchdowns.
Right. And Grant Cannell is one of those guys that was picked in the preseason. I think he was like second team All Pac-12 preseason pick. So, they're looking at him.
Yeah, he just got to score the ball. Really, just put it in the end zone.
Yeah, especially with
efficient.
With his defense, we're gonna need to be scoring points, man. Jeez.
Right. So I don't see why he wouldn't want to be, one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the pack.
Right.
Passing yards, passing statistics. Go ahead and just light it up. Even if we in shootouts. Yeah. At least it's a good look.
Hey, people like watching shootouts. Right. They love it.
And encourage more people to tune in.
Exactly. All right. So with the quick testing, the league feels like they can guarantee no athletes that test positive will actually be in games and practices. And then, like you said earlier, it's going to reduce the stress on the contact tracing. It'll reduce, stress on having to quarantine, large groups of people. And okay, there's one guy, he talked to these 4 people, just put them all, in quarantine, let them chill out for a little bit. We could stop this little outbreak here.
Right.
But that's how you keep the players on there. Now. Back when the league decided to postpone play, the doctors had talked about heart issues related to COVID-19 and provided examples of athletes who have been hit hard by COVID and suffered cardiac problems, lung problems, all that kind of stuff, falling about with the disease. So, along with testing protocols, there will be cardiac monitoring protocols for athletes who test positive. Obviously, the heart issues was huge with the players, huge with the coaches, but especially the parents. They were all worried about it, so they're going to keep an eye on that for sure. So that's definitely something that is positive towards keeping us playing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we don't know everything about COVID, so we don't know about the long-term effects, about how your respiratory system will react years later. I think I heard some things about that. So I think that, I mean, it's gonna be a risk, playing. It's gonna be a risk, but I feel like if the conference can, assure the safety, like as far as everything that they can exhaust, every avenue they can exhaust for safety, then I think the parents and the players will be comfortable playing. I mean, it's a lot of flus out there. People get sick. Hopefully our death rate or our mortality rate in the United States is low, for death. So these kids, they just want to play. So I feel like if you could harbor a safe environment for them, where they could, have a chance to play the game they love and be safe with testing and everything, then I think everybody's all for it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. But don't let anything go wrong with some of these testing, some of these players. Like, they better be monitoring up because you gotta have these kids safe.
Gotta have them safe. And
they're not making no money. Because they're not making no money.
Yeah,
they just there hitting each other.
Yeah, and just putting together a resume to hopefully get paid soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. All right. So it looks like the Big Ten returning to play basically pushed the Pac-12, like you were saying. We're the last ones.
Right.
And, more specifically, the state of California, because California has USC, Cal, UCLA, Stanford, right? And so they have now cleared state restrictions, and they're now working on local restrictions by implementing protocols and such. Now, here's where it gets kind of weird, right? The preparation for a season. I mean, you know it all too well. With the Big Ten returning on to play on October 24th, they kept the schedules going the entire time. Those guys never stopped. They were going normal training camp and all that.
Oh, really?
For the most part, they were up until they finally announced their stop. But if you remember, I'm pretty sure their announcement to stop and then start back up was a much shorter time frame than ours. I think. So their players might be a little more prepared and everything. But the Pac-12 didn't do that. The Pac-12, all activities for the most part were done, especially in California and Oregon, right? Arizona, not so much.
Right. I actually heard AZ was, still doing a little bit. Right.
Yeah,
I don't know for sure.
Them OTAs. They were calling them not OTAs. They were calling them voluntary, right?
Okay.
So they had 12 hours, a 12-hour window for the week to practice, train, prepare, and all that, and then weight training and all that was on the side. Kevin Sumlin was on a little scrum the other day online talking about it. They had a few spring practices. They've had their teams together. We might have a leg up at least in the first couple of games over these other teams, especially if we play a California or an Oregon team. But other than that, it wasn't business as normal for Arizona, but it was pretty close. Like, Arizona, ASU is going to be pretty ready to go come this the season. But so how much time do you think you need as a player to prepare for a season? Knowing that we had no preseason, we had no training camp, really, we're going into this 5 weeks till we get to play. Like, is that enough time?
5 weeks is enough time for training camp. Yeah, 5-week training camp is good enough. Me as an athlete, it's year round. You get a few weeks off, maybe a month at the most, not even, but you use that time to, get your body right. And you really start just getting better from a month after the season. So, I mean, it's a year-round thing if you want to make improvements from season to season. But honestly, team organized football, 5 weeks is good enough time. 5 weeks, that's a nice size training camp. You get to put in plays, you get to practice, have a good thorough training camp. 5 weeks, that's more than enough time for sure.
All right, cool. Yeah. And then, all right, so obviously most teams are going to be okay. There's a couple issues, little issues we have right now with the Pac-12. Stanford and Colorado, CU Boulder, they're still having some issues locally. Stanford hasn't been cleared yet to practice, and then Colorado just got another little, not bombshell, but another little issue come up with the Boulder County. So they on Thursday, public health officials in that county issued restrictions on gatherings of young people 18 to 22 years old due to a recent spike in COVID cases in that county. So we're talking kids are partying and gathering and all that, and you would think that athletes wouldn't be affected. Apparently they are.
You would think that they wouldn't be affected. I would definitely think that they would be affected.
But I mean, like, as far as like, if you're able to like keep your players like a aside,
how you gonna do that? How you gonna keep 18 to 22-year-olds aside in college? How you gonna keep 18 to 22-year-olds aside in college?
No, you're right. You're right. Now, the parties and the frats and all that.
So honestly, I understand that if the county and the county put that restriction on that age group, that includes the student athletes, unless there were more strict, regulations to the team. Like, all right, okay, yeah, we don't want you to go to large parties, boom, boom, but they're not quarantined. They're going to the stores, they're going to the restaurants, they're going to hang out with friends, they're doing all that. And if the whole county thinks that those age groups should stay in, then that includes the student athletes. That's a part of not, just saying, all right, oh well, they're athletes or football players, they're not real people, basically. That start treating them like they're not real people. We need to get it to where it's safe for those people to play football. That age demographic, we need it safe for that age demographic to play football, for them to play football. And if it's not safe right now, as a parent, I am a parent. As a parent, yeah. I'm sorry, son, but it's not safe after school right now. Do you want to transfer? You could transfer. There's an open transfer portal. Like, it's important to you. It's important to me. Let's make it happen.
Right. I mean, they got to take it seriously as far as like all the students go, all of them, if they really want to, keep going to school and not get that whole, the plug pulled on just school alone from actually happening. All right.
I don't know what's going on in Stanford though. You said Stanford.
They're still like locally. They're still trying to work out like how to come back. They're in Palo Alto, so I don't know how like.
And it's the Bay. Yeah, the Bay. Got the air quality is not good. It's very high in the Bay. I can understand that too, but you got to be able to. I think they should do like training camp where they get a location, go practice away from everybody, have all the testing and everything. That's how you'll keep a team safe, like a training camp style environment where everybody's all together, in one place. We keeping track of everybody. They got tutors, whatever they need. But as far as like mingling and stuff like that with the other students, that's gonna be risky.
Right. No, and then for example, in Boulder, the county officials told them that the rapid testing protocol isn't enough to exempt the players, like you were saying. You can't keep them apart. Right. So and at the same time, the school said they were aware that might actually happen. So they were already working on alternate solutions. I'm thinking, like you said, take them somewhere else.
Take them somewhere. Drive them to the games. I mean, you don't want to, at least till the times change, at least during training camp, so they can get that practice in right now. So they can get that practice in. Maybe the laws or the restrictions will like loosen up when the season starts. But for right now, it's good to, get them in a training camp environment, keep them safe so you can practice. Maybe you could pass that to, the city officials. But other than that, I understand. Yeah, and they're just going to be behind the 8 ball. It's not going to be any waiting. The year's not waiting for nobody. Life's not waiting for nobody. Everything's going to keep going. If they don't make it, they don't make it. Pac-12 don't make it in the conference championships, be one next year, or the playoff. Everybody's gonna keep playing. Everybody's gonna keep going. It's a pandemic, but like in Atlanta, they're open.
All of it.
Don't ask me how I know,
Georgia.
Don't ask me how I know.
Georgia and Florida's opening all the way too this weekend.
There's no restrictions. Don't ask
me. All right. Anyway, all right. So, wrapping this up as far as like talking about the coming back. I'm legit wondering what changed in the last month other than the testing. Just the testing, right? To come back, right? Because the health and safety is number one priority. Now, my other thought was money, right? Because they have these TV contracts, and I remember I was looking into it for last week, and each game apparently is worth about $5 million in TV contracts to the league. So I'm sure that had quite a bit to do with it,
for sure.
And they got to hit something
and especially when the other conferences are making that money, like that. Like if I'm an owner of the Pac-12, or if I'm a president, school president, AD. I want my team in the same opportunity space that these other teams are having. If they're playing, that's what changed, man. It was the testing, the money and respect. You're probably right. Testing, money, and respect. Those two things. As long as you got the testing, we need to get this money. And we're losing respect as like football credibility. You know, football
As a
respect.
conference, for sure.
As a conference, you lose respect by not playing. It's not important. It's not important enough to play this year to the Pac-12. That's how the field is going. You know, in SEC, oh, we playing. You know, we playing football. This how we run the show. And the West Coast is, you know, kids are safe. Make sure the kids are safe.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we should. Don't get me wrong, though. You know, that's the right thing to do.
Right.
But it's about how I feel like other conferences are different down south or, you know, SEC. Their state laws were different than ours. Ours was worse.
Right.
And on the West Coast, it was worse. But that's when you have to try even harder to find ways to do it successfully, you know, find even more ways, be first in finding ways like the rapid testing. If you had been first to find a rapid testing, if you're, you know, tried to find that sooner, because they could have, I feel like it was available sooner.
Yeah.
We're getting it through now, which is late.
It almost seems like we did this whole like wait and see approach. What was everyone else doing? And everyone was doing something different, and we kind of got stuck being last again.
Exactly.
So, all right. In order to complete that contract, by the way, just because I wrote that note down, they have to have 45 games in order to get that money that the Pac-12 wants, and apparently November 7th we should be able to hit that number. So everyone gets paid in the end.
That's good. So, that's good.
Yeah. Anyway, so in the end, it looks like we'll be on the edge for the entire season, wondering if we'll get shut down again. But at least we get to play for now.
I don't think it's gonna get shut down. I don't see it getting shut down.
So even if there's like an outbreak,
it's not gonna be an outbreak. They got rapid testing. Testing. They gonna separate. It might be 3 or 4 people at the most. I don't think there's gonna be a spike of 15 players from Arizona. I think it's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna tell us, for one. They're not gonna make it public.
No.
And they're not gonna make it public. And I think it's, if push come to shove, maybe just 4 or 5 max. You know, all right, these 4 or 5 guys, they was hanging out. We got it, and then one of them got, you know, let's quarantine them, test them up, and try to get them back on the field as soon as possible, because that's really all they care about.
Right. True. All right. So let's just hope for the best, man, because you know we're in weird times right now.
Yeah, I'm looking for some wins and some 40-yard touchdown passes. Hey, Arizona, I want to see 40-yard touchdown passes. I want to see 25-yard runs. I want to see sacks. You feel me?
Yeah.
I want to see sacks. I want to see pancake blocks, forced fumbles, turnovers for our defense. I want to see some big plays in this quarantine.
Yep. Yeah. No, and you know, O-line, you got some work to do, man. 40-yarders and 25-yarders.
Right.
Start there.
Keep the quarterback up. Keep the quarterback up and finish blocks. Keep the quarterback up, finish blocks. I think if those 2 simple things, even if you got the intensity to, you know, finish a block, that'll open up 3 or 4 more yards. If you keep the quarterback upright, he's talented enough to make a good play. We got receivers. Let's get it.
Yeah. All right. And then on another note, and a kind of a crappy one, because we already have such a light linebacker core. We already had problems with depth before this thing even kicked off. And we've already lost a few linebackers. Now we lost another one. Kylan Wilborn, a senior, he's transferring as a graduate transfer. He announced on Monday he was transferring. Now this is before he heard the news, or anyone heard the news that you know we're kind of come back and play. So I wonder if that would have changed his mind. But he finished his career at Arizona with 53 total tackles. He had 13 in 4 years, 13 for a loss, 1 fumble recovery, 4 forced fumbles. So he's more of a rotational guy.
Right. Wish him the best, but we don't stress.
Yeah.
50 tackles in 4 years.
Yeah.
No offense, you know, I hope he does great. But you know, it's gonna be the kid's decision to go and you know, reach another opportunity. So you know, you just wish the players that left good luck, but we needed better linebackers anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't know how they. I don't know. I mean, there's not much we could do about it this season.
Right. I don't know how you play linebacker with 54 tackles, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, exactly. All right. All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we get cut this off?
No, man. I'm just excited to watch you know, our guys play and how we compete in this short week. I'm also, you know, trying to get into coaching. I want to go up there and coach. I haven't, you know, reached out to anybody yet, but I feel like it'd be dope to go out there and help the guys out, reach the next level, make plays, and, you know, have fun. It's just little things. It's be little things that can help a whole defense, you know, the whole mindset of a defense, the turnover ratio, the speed of a defense. And I want to be able to add that. So I was thinking about trying to, you know, reach out this year, but I might wait till next year.
All right. Hey, man. Just don't wait too long, dude. No opportunities, right? Man. Opportunities.
Right? You're right about that.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode. Please remember to subscribe, and wherever you're watching, YouTube, you're on Bleav, you're on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're at, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you get our episodes automatically sent to you, and make sure you follow my co-host on Twitter and Instagram, which the handle is
DR4 Unruly. You feel me? Unruly.
All right, make sure you follow. I'm on Twitter at Elof50 or 32, and on IG at Elof52. All right, shout out to betonline.ag. Make sure you hit them up and place your bets. And again, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Go Wildcats. Bear down.
Bear down.